Police are looking for armed robbers involved in a violent smash and grab robbery at a jewelry store in El Monte.
The burglars enter through the roof, then cut their way in from a neighboring business.
Thieves burst in, smashed the display cases, and shoved workers to the ground.
Thousands and thousands of dollars worth of merchandise gone.
Hi, I'm Mark Smelzer, Chief Content Executive at the Jewelers Mutual Group, and it's my honor to moderate this 5-part series on jewelry crime. We have an esteemed panel of 3 experts: John Kennedy, President of the Jewelers Security Alliance. From Canada, we have Kelly Ross, Managing Director of Jewelers Vigilance Canada. And representing the retail side, we have Michael Richards, Vice President of Underwood's Jewelers in Jacksonville, Florida, and the former President of the American Gem Society. We'll discuss in the first episode the overall state of crime. In the next 3 episodes, we'll discuss specific types of crimes. And in the 5th episode, we will discuss the emotional impact of crime. After each episode, we'll post a list of further resources. And we truly hope that you find these videos informative and helpful. Welcome to the 3rd episode in our crime awareness series. This episode today is on grab and run thefts specifically. John, do you want to kick us off with a description of what precisely a grab and run theft is?
A grab and run is when someone pretending to be a customer in the store gets one or more objects of merchandise into their hands and then takes off and runs out of the store. It's like a very easy crime to commit. You don't have to have much experience and you don't have to have much skill. And all you have to do is to be able to run out of that store. And, we're seeing a very sharp increase in grab and runs. And interestingly, one of the factors that we see, especially now, what we see is post-pandemic, we see grab and run criminals wearing masks, even though nobody else will be wearing a mask. They're wearing a mask. So
a COVID mask, not like a ski mask. Okay,
COVID mask.
Right,
So keep an eye on that person with the COVID mask when no one else is wearing them. Okay.
Interesting. Kelly, what advice do you give to your retailers in Canada on how to, prevent grab and runs, what to do in a grab and run, etc.?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, first of all, I like what John said about the mask. That's a great observation. And if we go back to all our alerts that we sent out this past year with grab and runs, every one of them's wearing a mask. And even in the alerts, there might be other people that we blurred their faces out. They're not wearing masks. So it's a really interesting observation that John's passed on. There's something for everybody to take note of. As for the usual things in this is what we advocate for a lot of different types of crime. And the first one is showing one piece at a time. That's critical. The robber wants to get away, or sorry, the robber, not the thief in this case, wants to get away with as much as they can. And so if they can get 2 or 3 or 4 items in their hand, they'll just keep asking for them. And then when they can't carry anymore, they'll run. One of the other things is about observing what they're doing, and is the type of jewelry they're looking at sort of something that you would expect that kind of person to look at, is the sizing right? Are they slowly upgrading from one piece? Now I want to see the more expensive piece, more expensive, this kind of thing, and just sort of be observant in that respect. But again, they're clients, right? Until otherwise, and so you want to show them that good customer service, but that then boils down to simply showing one at a time and not giving them another piece until you got the other one back.
Wow. And Michael, what sort of experiences have you seen, and what do you teach your associates?
Well, I would probably continue what's already been said and say that if you observe their behavior. We've had many instances where people will come in and it's very obvious that they're trying not to touch any of the glass showcases. They're making sure they don't leave fingerprints. Very often they will appear very nervous, sweating, or ask to see what's the most expensive ring in there and can I see that one? These are all things that we train our staff to look for. And like most jewelers, we have a code. And our code word is something that anyone on our staff can say at any time. And we use it most often when we feel like there's a chance of a grab and run. If one of our employees feels uncomfortable, they will look to another employee and they will work that code word into a conversation or a sentence. That employee then spreads it throughout the store, and everyone in our store, all the back office people, our jewelers, everyone will just go out and be on the sales floor. We're not there because we're intending on tackling this person if they grab it and run, but we're hoping that if there's enough people surrounding them, milling around the store, standing at the front door and talking, that it will certainly at least give them a few seconds time to think about whether this is a good decision for them or not.
Wow.
And as far as I know, it's working. We haven't had a grab and run in many years.
Fantastic. John, any top line advice that the JSA gives on these type of events?
I would add that it may not work for every store, but if you're dealing with unknown customers and you're dealing with high-end merchandise, you can ask for ID. I mean, Jewelers Mutual has had a plan of that for a number of years and suggesting it. And they even had showcase signs that people would use to say, you're going to have to show something. I mean, it's not 100% deterrent, but it is somewhat of a deterrent for the criminal.
So you literally ask for their driver's license and you hold it while they're.
If you're going to show somebody a $70,000 high-end watch, maybe they should show you their ID. Now, you can't do it in every circumstance, in every store, in every situation, but as long as you do it consistently for a certain level of monetary. And you do it to everybody. I mean, if you absolutely know the person, that's a little different. But people do it. Good stores do it. I mean, I talk to them; they do it.
And what type of stores does this tend to happen more in malls, more in freestanding, or it's across the board?
Malls by far. Malls by far.
Because they're wide open and you can just run in whatever direction is good for you, or.
All 60-70% of the grab and runs are in malls. Why? In the mall stores, especially in the chains, I mean, the owner ain't there. Okay, it's a different setup. It's a different feel. It's a different circumstance, and people are working on commission, and there's no they're a little. It's different.
Yeah.
Believe it.
And there's no door, right? I mean, you just run right out the open,
and you can go into the crowd, and you're going to get lost, and nobody will ever find you, and it's different, and that's the way it is.
So everyone should be aware. But if you're in a mall,
Michael's going to be on the floor. Michael's going to be on the floor of his store, so it's a little less likely that something like that is going to happen. Or any other person who is knowledgeable about security and a serious person like that. It's less likely to happen.
Terrific. All right. Well, thank you. That's time. This has been a great episode. And as always, we will have links immediately following this, websites you can go to for more information on this topic. So thank you all very much.